All right, what's up, guys? Whew, what a day. This morning is just, or this afternoon, it's just been ridiculous for me trying to get everything done to get this ready. My computer, for some reason, there was a safe search that was turned on it. And even though I just bought this thing on like last Monday, I couldn't turn it off. It wouldn't let me turn the safe search off. It told me to contact a parent. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then, of course, with the new system, trying to implement things, like I'd had a phone. I was going to other people, trying to get this done, that done, going to other people's houses, trying to get my picks in. But here we are on the pod. I got everything done, so it's time to just kind of settle down and take a look at these games. Did some research today. There's a lot of interesting spots, and one of the things I want to bring up, now I don't expect this to happen, but I like to make note of it just in case. We actually talked about this on one of the first pods. Texas has a retractable roof, and if they decide to open it, they said they usually open it between, I think it was 60 and 80 or 65 and 80, something like that. But again, I don't know what the prerequisites are. The only reason I bring it up is that there's 18-mile-an-hour winds supposed to blow out later today in Texas. And if they open that roof, obviously it's a huge bump to bats. Now, full disclosure, I do not expect them to open the roof. But just in case the temperature dips a little bit and they decide to, that could be a big bang for everybody with the wind blowing out the way it is. I mean, that's a big number. So after today, I'm just going to dive right in these games. We'll roll through it. I'm going to give you a lean on each game. Instead of just doing the free pick thing, I'll just give you a lean for each one. That way you guys can kind of take a look. Maybe there's something you take from what I'm seeing in the games. And I did want to have I saw that somebody posted that Zach Eflin is not a good pitcher. Okay. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion on that, but fact of the matter is the guy has a 2.70 ERA since joining the Orioles, and you can go look at. I'm not a big wins and losses guy, but as I said, he keeps your team in games. He got quite a few wins, and was probably the best pitching acquisition at the trade deadline last year. And that's not me being a homer, because if you buy my picks or hear me talking about it, I'll bet against the Orioles any chance I get if I feel like it's the right side. They're actually playing some pretty good baseball right now. We'll see. All right. Now, and we'll talk about the Orioles game tonight as well. So let me put my Sally Jessies on. We're going to start off with the Phillies and the Marlins. So we've got the wind blowing in at about 10 miles an hour. It is 90 degrees. It's Jesus Luzardo versus Cal Quantrill. Now let's talk about this, because Cal Quantrill's numbers are chunky, really chunky to say the least. ERA over 5. If you saw him in Coors, he's not a very good pitcher. But can he, with the wind blowing in, it's 90 degrees there too, with the wind blowing in, can he limit damage? And that's why I would lean under in this matchup. Some people are going to look at Jesus Luzardo's numbers. He was a front runner for Cy Young until one game, and he got annihilated in that game, and that's why his ERA is over 4. I thought he pitched well in his last game. I fully expect him to come out and pitch well. I just don't like betting big favorites. I stay away from him as much as possible. But this Phillies-Marlins game, I would lean under here, and then, kind of hold your breath when Cal Quantrill's pitching. But I still think he can get you through it. And the Marlins have some live arms in their bullpen. The second game I wanted to talk about, and it's another interesting one, Pitt and Detroit. So we get the Pirates and the Tigers. There's rain in the forecast, guys. Wind is blowing in at 10-plus miles an hour. We've got it in the high 80s there. It's Bailey Falter versus Casey Mize. Bailey Falter's been a little bit like Houdini this year. As he's been getting out of jams, the ERA, the numbers actually look really good. And I think even if you look deeper into it, he's been a solid pitcher. Now, if you ask me, I would expect some negative regression at some point. I don't know that it has to be against this Tigers lineup. And on the flip side, Casey Mize, one of the biggest prospects the Tigers had years ago, and people were wondering if he was ever going to turn the corner. Seems like at the end of last year he started to, and then, of course, in this year. So I think he's a solid pitcher, especially against, when you're looking at the Pirates lineup, and if there's any Pitt fans out there, I'm sorry. You guys know when you watch your team, like everybody's watching Paul Skeens, wondering where he's going to end up, because I don't see the Pirates paying him. But yeah, it's like you're looking at that team and there's some talent there, but the fact remains they're a little wanting on the offensive side with their bats. But I would lean under here in this game. So let's go off to the Twins and the Reds. Now, this one is where I'm conflicted a little bit. I've talked about the East Coast, and when it rains and it's hot, what happens? The humidity picks up. Now, in this game, we get two pitchers that have been really good this year. Now, Andrew Abbott, who I really like, the lefty's been fantastic for the Reds. He's due for some negative regression. That one-run ERA I don't think is going to hold up. And I've seen some games where he's had guys on base and he's worked out of jams. can get some Ks here, and I do think the Twins will strike out a bit. Same thing with David Festa. He's a guy that'll get a bunch of strikeouts as well. But if you're looking at this game in particular, there's light rain, and in Cincinnati when that happens, the humidity picks up. I'm still going to lean under here. The wind's blowing like right to left about 10 miles an hour, so there's really no help there. If that should change at all, and that's obviously something that can happen throughout the day, the wind direction changing. I think I brought it up in a Wrigley game not that long ago that it was going to change midway through the game, and you get those swirling winds, and good luck figuring out where the ball's going. Somebody's got to hit it at the right time to get it to go. But with the Twins and Reds, I'm going to lean under here. And it's mainly because of the pitching matchup, how these guys have looked. But, I'm waiting to see what happens in it just because, as I look at the humidity, I like to look at these spots. Like, had a really good spot with the Braves over the weekend. I didn't bet it just because I wanted to watch and see what happened. And the game went over the total. You saw the Rockies got them twice. Just some weird stuff there. And lastly, I'm going to get to the Orioles-Rays game. I did want to say this. Through the first 5 days, my weather play of the day is 4-1. And I really feel like we had a great shot at being 5-0. So we'll see what happens coming up in the next few games. But it's been a nice little stretch here, and I've had 4 winning days in a row with my 3-pack. So hopefully you guys will check some of that out. But even if you're not, there's some information here. I do want you guys to like, subscribe, hit that notification button as well, and definitely check out what the other what the other handicappers, I almost said hackers and pickers and whatever, what the other handicappers are doing and some of their plays as well. I have a game here that I want to talk about, and it's the Orioles, so I know quite a bit about this team and what's been going on with them. They've gotten hot here lately, but as we look at the Rays Stadium, wind's blowing out slightly. We get Dean Kramer versus Zach Little. Both of these guys can get some Ks here. I think they're very similar pitchers to their build. And if you guys heard me talk about Dean Kramer, you almost got to throw out the month of April and look at his numbers. He's been a much better pitcher. And that's not me saying this guy's great or anything like that. It's just April really threw off his numbers and made them look horrendous. Now, in his last game, if you watched it, he threw one bad pitch. That was the game where he gave up a solo home run. Center fielder runs into the wall. There's like a long delay. Hit, walk, bang, 3-run homer. And that one pitch is really what just kind of did him in. So other than that, he went like 7 innings and pitched extremely well. So we'll have to wait and see. But I would lean over here. The wind's blowing out slightly. We've talked about the Yankees minor league ballpark that the Rays are playing in. It's a bandbox. And there's a ton of power on the Orioles side, especially when they're facing right-handed pitching. Now, they did a really good job against 2 lefties over the weekend, and they're no longer the worst hitting team in baseball against lefties because they knocked around Yusei Kikuchi, and, of course, Tyler Anderson as well. So we'll see if the Orioles kind of figure out left-handed pitching. I still think it's a thing. I mean, Kikuchi struck them out in double digits even after giving up a bunch of runs. So I would lean over here because I think both of these guys can give up the long ball, and the Rays have a couple of guys that can get into it that can hit the long ball as well. Brandon Lau, tons of power there. Caminero. I mean, there's a bunch of guys on this team where they look like a bunch of table setters. They're going to have to steal some bases, make some things happen, but the Rays are playing pretty good baseball. So enjoy watching this series. I would lean under. I would lean over. Good God, don't do that. I mean, this has been a long day. So I'm very happy to finally be getting everything done with, man. I was on hold for 2 hours with computer help. And then the guy's like, oh, you got to send me $250 and we can do this and we can do that. And I'm going, I don't want all this. I just want to turn the safe search off so I can go to a gambling website, like the guy's like, well, what else you looking up? And I'm like, nothing. I just got the computer on Monday. Literally all this computer is for is gambling. So, but it is what it is. Again, thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. I'm back every day. So you guys, again, if you hit the notification button, you'll know when a video gets posted, and appreciate all the comments. I'll try to respond to as much as I can when the time comes. So thank you guys.